Oh, so just yesterday, I had to write this own answer, and it was about whether science is a blessing or an evil. That got me thinking that even when you guys are doing your masters, for example, this is the one thing that stays constant in, I think, most of the subjects. The fact that you have to argue for whatever that you stand for, whatever that you believe. And I had, even like, for example, if you guys take take Islamiyat as a subject, English, even computers, even all of the other subjects, even Urdu, for example, languages and all of these things, you have to argue for whatever that you think is right. If we just talk about this topic, do you guys think science is a blessing or an evil? I'm giving everybody 2 minutes, and I will ask everyone if they think it is a blessing or an evil, and for what reasons. Abdullah, you
Miss,
can
did you
answer.
say science?
Yes, science. Is science a blessing or an evil? I want everyone to think. Think about all of the things that come to your mind when you hear the word science, and think about the fact that whatever evil has happened, and think about of it as a blessing too. Take 2 minutes, all of you. That's completely fine, but I want an answer from everyone. As soon as you guys are done, just give me a thumbs up so I can take your name and ask you to unmute. I think Taha is looking over there, so I want to start with Taha. Taha, do you think science is a blessing? Taha, unmute yourself, please. Okay, before Taha, Ishil, what about you? What is your...
Miss,
Taha's running around. Ishil, what is your opinion on it?
and maybe a blessing, we can say,
For what reasons? Why do you say maybe?
because I need some time.
Okay, you can take your time. Fair enough. I'm glad that you asked. So Hiba just sent me a message saying, to me, it would be a blessing. You get to know stuff about your body, and if you get sick, you know what's the problem and treat it accordingly. Okay, good answer, Hiba. Cameron, what do you think?
Miss, I think it's a blessing.
And why?
It's because like for instance, there are many things that we still don't know about our planet, which scientists are still trying to figure out.
That's very true. Good point.
So it's like even if like a new virus comes, they have science. So with science, they can find a cure.
Very true. Good answer, Cameron. I like how you thought. Okay, Haya, your turn, because you made that face.
Miss, I think it's evil because scientists even like create bombs and stuff. So everyone said it's a blessing, but for me, I think it's a bit evil.
Very good,
Maybe the
Haya.
government
Very
can
good
use it
point.
against
Good
the
job.
people.
So Haya made a very nice point. She said that scientists are the people, and science is what makes bombs too, which is a way of destruction for humans, for their property, for a lot of things. Good job, Haya. Okay, Rumilia, you go first. What do you think?
I think it's
You think it's a blessing?
maybe.
Maybe. Okay, fair enough. Can you tell me why do you think it's a blessing?
Science is blessing maybe because scientists are
Okay, good point. And what does your sister think?
I think it's both
You think it's both. Why is that?
because we learn a lot from science, and because of experiment, there are a lot of things that go wrong, and it is also healthy, but sometimes unhealthy for us because too much information is not good, and
That is
information
very
is
true.
good
That is very true.
because knowledge is it gives you stress, it gives you tension. When you know about something too much, you'll apply it on yourself. That's what happens to me. I always search something that what is happening to me, and then there's
That is very
you
true.
know Google always gives you one answer, that's cancer, but that is totally not true. Everything is not cancer, but it is both. It's evil too, and it's a blessing too, because science is telling us to protect our planet, and we get new things. They discover things, and we know a lot more about them, like oceans. And we all, we know everything because of science. Right now, we know
Very good
that
point,
this
both
is
of
a
you guys.
hand.
Good
This
point.
is these eyes are used for what. This is gravity. We have
So
discovered a
you
lot.
can, yeah,
Science
that
is
is
both.
absolutely correct. Good thinking. Okay, Mustafa, what's your take on it?
Myths, it is blessing because they are trying to means um, take control on COVID.
Very good. Okay. That is very true. They do control pandemics. And, if we were born in any other era, the pandemic would have been worse. So that is very true. And hello, Mohammed. Welcome to class. So, Mohammed, we are talking about 2 and 4, our opinions basically. And I asked everybody a question. Do you guys think science is a blessing or an evil? And everybody's giving their opinions. Seher, what's yours?
Well, I think if it wasn't for science, we wouldn't know anything about the world.
Very true. So, you think it's a blessing?
Yes.
Good job. Thank you for your opinion. Amani, your turn. I think I already know what she's going to say.
Miss, it's both a blessing and it's also evil.
It's also evil. Okay, so why do you think it's evil?
Well, because the way they dissect creatures and even humans sometimes.
I just read your answer. Yes, that's very true. You get to discover a lot, but the way that they dissect creatures is wrong. Okay, fair enough. But do you think that, for example, if somebody's passed away, do you think dissecting their body for science is wrong? You guys think so?
Miss,
Okay, but for example, if they're dissecting one person, but it's helping a million other people, do you still think it's wrong? Because literally that is how they found out about whatever that's inside us, from our brain to our lungs to our heart to all the major organs. You guys know, even if one organ isn't working properly, your body just gives up, because every single thing is dependent on the other. But good opinion. Good job. I like people who are opinionated. Okay. So Hiba finds it wrong too, and Ishil doesn't. Aisha, thank you for sending me your answer. I'll read it in a second. Anas, what's your take on it?
Miss, I'm still writing in the chat.
You're still right. Why are you writing it in the chat? Read it out.
He is shy.
Anas is not shy. Come on, Anas.
Miss, exactly like what he said.
Okay, since when is Anas shy? Yes, Hiba, they only do cut up the bodies of people that are either organ donors or that have given their bodies to scientists. That is a thing. You do it in your lifetime. Like, I know somebody who passed away in my family. Not like they weren't very close, but they were an organ donor. So when she had an accident, she passed away like 2 months ago, and she was an organ donor. So her heart went to a little baby, and I think her liver went to someone else too. Her kidneys went to someone else. So it lives, her organs are going to live on with others. And I think she donated her body to scientists too. So people figure out ways how to help people with accidents and diseases and this and that through it. So Aisha Tahir has written, I think it's a blessing because those around us are connected with science. That's very true. I was just thinking why nobody said this point. We know about your body, how to use things. We know about science. We know through science about the universe and we fight disease through it too. Good job. Hasib has said it is a blessing for me because they give us information about many things like COVID, scientific knowledge. Okay, good job. I find if they, yes, Hiba, you're right. Consenting is important. In Fatma is saying, in my opinion, science is a blessing because without science, we cannot understand the world. Okay, good job. Anas is finally saying, Anas, I want you to read your answer out loud. Since when are you shy? Come on, be quick.
Miss, I thought you were talking about science, not science.
No, science. Why would Haya say that science make bombs? Anas? Okay, Mohammed, you're the only one that's left. What's your take on it? Be quick.
I don't know. I'll just
You
say
don't know.
it's okay.
Why do you not
I-
know?
I just don't have an answer.
Okay, then think about it. We're going to study more. I'm going to finally share the presentation that I have for you guys. We have gone through it before, but I think just as we were doing more, just as we were discussing it more, we were coming to the work, you guys had your summer vacations. So we left it there, and now we're going to start it all over again, because just yesterday, as I was saying, I had to write this answer on my own too. So when you talk about argumentative essays, there's always an opinion that they will ask of you. It can be about very, very, very different topics. It can be about something that you have a very strong stance on. Like, for example, I have a very strong stance on feminism. Okay. But it can be something that you're very neutral about. Like, for example, some students over here said that they believe that science is both a blessing and an evil. And it can be something that you are against. So when you talk about an argumentative essay, it goes either ways. But knowing how to write an argumentative essay and knowing how to present your points in the best way possible is something that's very important. An argumentative essay is an essay that uses evidence and facts to support the claim it's making. Like, for example, I'm going to take Haya's example. She said science is an evil for her because people make bombs, which is factual. It does happen. People do make bombs. And like, we can take the example of what happened to Japan. People who threw a nuclear on them. And
USA.
where? USA. Mohammed, where was it?
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Very good. So do you guys think that was correct? Hiba, what is your stance on it? Unmute yourself.
What am I supposed to say?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What?
What am I supposed to say?
I'm saying, if, for example, whoever supported science, actually, if I ask you guys, did you guys support the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? No, right? So that was science only. The bombs were made because of science, but somebody used it in an evil way too. So it and it caused a lot of destruction. Till date, it does do that. So when you talk about your argumentative essay, when you talk about any arguments, actually, even if it's an argument at home, Amani, then you bring up points to support your stance. You bring up points, like you gather points. Even if, for example, it's a fight between Hiba and Anas because they're siblings, and it's a fight for a space, maybe in a room, or maybe it's a fight for whatever, maybe their PlayStation. Then they give their points. And their mom is the person who's going to decide who's right, who's wrong. They're going to give points. Oh, mom, I think Anas has played with it more than I have, so I should get it now. Or maybe, mom, I was not feeling well, so I think I should get it now. So people give points to support their answers whenever they're arguing. Yes, guys, we'll talk about your homework essays. Just give me a bit. A good argumentative essay will use facts and evidence to support the argument. Remember, whenever that you guys make an argument, you should always research on it so that you know that there are things that you that can support your answer. And I have a very, very controversial and very nice essay for homework too, but we'll do it in today's class because I like listening to opinions. Then to support the argument rather than just the author's thoughts and opinions. Like, for example, if I ask you guys whether science is a blessing or an evil, but Cameron's answer is it's an evil because he hates studying science, then that will just be his feelings. And if he, for example, if in an argument he brings this up, Miss, I hate science because it is boring, or Miss, I hate science because I don't do well at it, then Hasib, it will not be a proper answer at all. When you're arguing and when somebody's arguing with solid facts and you give up your feelings, the other person's going to be like, okay, what was this argument? And it's going to make your argument weaker too. There are types of argumentative essays. We're going to come back to it. Then this is something that I gave to you guys as your homework for the vacations too. Online learning and physical learning. But I want to go to something else. Okay. So we're going to discuss this because like 20 minutes are left of the class and I want everyone to have an opinion on this. And remember, supporting your answers with facts is very, very, very important. I want you guys are of a higher grade. You guys are in grade 8. So I want you guys to do your own research. Can death penalty be effective? You guys know what death penalty is? Who knows and who doesn't?
I don't miss.
Okay, so basically,
Yes, I know.
who commit crimes which are very severe, they are given, like for example, if somebody kills another person, if somebody murders someone, okay, so usually the penalty for that is the death itself. Or even for example, if somebody is a terrorist, then then the penalty for that is death too. Do you guys think death penalty is effective, or do you guys think people should be jailed, like a life sentence should be given to them, jail for life? I want you guys to actually research up on cases. Whichever country, whichever place in the world that you're staying, that you're living in, where you come from, everyone will find cases that are present in that country only. And you will also find cases in which people got the death penalty. I want you to actually read up and come up with answers. We have a class tomorrow too, and we'll make it a very, very, very proper and important discussion. This is homework for everyone. Do your research. Before you guys come up with an answer, I want you guys to do your research. And before you guys do that, does it settle with your heart to give somebody a death penalty? Yes or no? And why? Who's going to start? Anas has unmuted himself. Anas, yes. What do you have to say?
I didn't think of an answer. I just said no.
You didn't think of an answer?
No, but I know it wouldn't feel right. So
Would you support it?
nope.
You wouldn't support a death penalty. Then would you support a life imprisonment?
If the person deserves it, then yes.
Okay, fair enough. And Amani, what about you? Would you support a death penalty?
It depends.
It depends on what?
If the person actually deserves it.
Fair enough. Good job. Good answer. If the person actually deserves it. That is what I'm saying. Death penalty is not given to somebody who, for example, steals. Death penalty is not given to somebody who, for example, robs an entire store. It's not given to somebody who, for example, hits another person. It's not given to somebody who is, for example, a harasser. It's not given on such crimes. It's given on crimes which are extremes. Like, for example, as I said, maybe somebody who's a terrorist, maybe somebody who's a murderer, and such and such and such cases where it's an extreme, because such people, they do exist in the world. Haya, what's your take on it?
I don't support it because I believe that they should get a life imprisonment to pay up for it.
Okay, fair enough. Cameron, what's your take?
Yes, I don't support it is because what if it's a wrongful conviction? They could get the wrong person, so they're killing an innocent person.
Very nice. That is a very different take on it. Good job. Even after jail, they might not change. If I do it, it'll be haram. What will no, Hiba, if for example, it's not haram if the government decides to do it. If a judge decides to do it, it's not haram. Okay, Kizia and Ramilia, what's your take? You can just give me I support it or I don't support it.
I don't know.
You don't, Kizia?
I don't know.
Okay,
That's
then this is the task. I'm going to write it on the whiteboard. Ishil, I'm saying, for example, somebody who has done a crime. And I want you guys to think about this in today's date and age too, in terms of today's date and age, because you guys are now grown ups. None of you, nobody over here is a kid. So thinking about such things, such cases, to read up on it and actually search up on Google. I want all of you to do this. Whoever comes without research in tomorrow's class, you guys will not be able to be a part of the discussion for tomorrow's class. Search up on cases. Search up on cases where the person got a death penalty. All of you. Take a screenshot, write it down in your copies and wherever. Write it down in your phones, make a alarm, make a notification out of it, send it to your friends or whatever. I want everyone to do a research on it. Everyone. Research work is very important. I want you guys to come up with it by tomorrow. We have a class tomorrow and I want it. Search upon cases where the person got a death penalty. You guys will figure out what sort of cases and which people do get it. And then I want your opinion on it. I want a very informed opinion. Okay. So, Seher, what's your take on it?
I think if the other person deserves it, then they should.
If the other
Only
person
if they
what?
deserve it. If the other person deserves it, only then they should get a penalty.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What about you, Fatma? Fatma,
Yes, miss.
what is your take on it? Fatma doesn't want to tell us. Basically, Aisha, penalty is, if I explain it in simpler words, if I explain it in Urdu, basically it's called a saza. Okay? If somebody commits a crime, for example, if somebody steals something, if somebody robs a bank, then they get a penalty. For example, imprisonment for 7 years, for 14 years. They get, and it depends on what their crime is. It depends if there were any casualties, if they injured someone, if they harmed someone. It depends on the amount that they stole. It depends on the reason too. And it also depends on the lawyer that they have, of course. If somebody has a nice lawyer, then they will win a lot of things which they shouldn't. Yes, Hiba, exactly. So first, I don't want you guys to write anything right now at all. I don't want you guys to start writing. Nobody should write right now. I want you guys to actually research, search up or research on cases right now. Cases which got a death penalty as the sentence. All of you. And whoever comes without that, I've already told you guys will not be able to be a part of our conversation tomorrow at all. At all.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No,
Are you
miss.
sure?
Yes.
Fatma, what are you confused with? Okay, Aisha, I will explain to you what death penalty is.
Miss, when are we gonna read our essays?
Well, have you sent it to me, Hazil?
No, but like I have it on my phone. Should I like send it to you?
Yes, you should. Do all of you have your codes for your Google Classroom?